Hi, my name is Catherine Ewing. I am the convener of the Master of Urban Design program at UCT in the School of Architecture Planning and Geomatics. Today I will be giving you a brief introduction to the Master of Urban Design degree. So why do we want to study urban design? We can start asking some big questions around the growth of cities and how the populations are expanding rapidly. In 1968, the world population was only 3.5 billion people. By 2018, 50 years down the line, it was 7.6 billion people, of which 1.3 billion people live in Africa. So we know that 50% of the world population live in urban areas. And of that, 800 million people live in informal settlements. Therefore, the notion that we need to start working in urban areas is increasingly relevant and in today's world, something that we actually need to address. So what does the urban design program entail? It is located within the postgraduate program of Architecture Planning and Geomatics. It is a 180 credit course, level 9 NQF. You can take the course over 1 year full-time, or you can take it over a 2-year extended time program. This is a taught program, so that requires participation in studios and lectures and seminars, interactive workshops on the ground. But there is a possibility you can do it 1 year full-time or 2-year extended. It is interdisciplinary, so we work a lot with the landscape architecture students, the planning students, and the architectural students, as well as students from other programs across the university. It is a design research taught program, and it is about the positive impact on the design of African cities. So that means that we will have socially aware urban designers capable of practicing in diverse places across the African continent and in global cities. So just to locate yourself in terms of the urban design, and it falls within the neighborhood scale predominantly that we work at, but it does cross over. This diagram shows you cross over into the city and the framework scales, and then the spatial planning goes from the metro and beyond, looking at how policy can start influencing. Whereas the urban design locates itself in the design field in the city, and even going down through into the realms of landscape architecture in the precinct, working with landscape architects, and then down to the building interface and scale of the building within the architecture domain. So that is mainly the design activity in the built environment, and where urban design overlaps, layers, and combines at scale. How do we enter into the Master of Urban Design program? There are different ways, but the core minimum requirement is a postgraduate honors degree in landscape architecture, city planning, or architecture. There are other design degrees that we do look at, but your entry will be through the design bridging course. Once you have those qualifications, you can then submit your online application with your portfolio, CV, and motivational letter. This then gets reviewed by committee along with international students requiring applications which meet SACRA requirements. Then if you gain entry, then you would enter into the MUD program. So what does the program entail? The program, if you are taking the program over full-time, these would be the courses you would be taking, of which 60% is dominated within the studio realm, and the other within your theory courses. You have a Theory of Urban Design course in semester 1 and Theory of Urban Design course in semester 2. Along with that, you would take an elective, one elective over the year. So we offer different electives and different programs with landscape architecture, or the African Centre for Cities. We're looking at the urban everyday in semester 1, or the arts of space in semester 2. There's also opportunities to look at urban infrastructure with planning. Where there is an indication of a different color, that means those are the courses that are engaged with different students in the different programs. So if you're taking it over an extended program, so your year one would be predominantly working within your studio, learning how to represent that and building on your theory and applying that. In semester two, then you would take an elective and then you would build up your urban design theory, where we look at predominantly African cities and how we actually apply what you've learned in the first semester into your second semester. If you would then move into your second year of the extended program, you would mainly focus on your research methods for urban design. That is basically your proposal that goes forward to your urban design research project. So the focus there would be on your work and your project and your development. You could also potentially take an elective if you hadn't done in your first year in the first semester of that year. We locate ourselves in the Cape Metro in semester one, where we focus on areas. In the last year, we focused on areas of Guguletu and Nyanga, but also looking at other areas in Mitchell Plain, Kalicha, Langa, Woodstock. So that is considered the area that we have been focusing on, known as the Cape Urban Lab. So what does that actually mean? This year we ran a studio, urban studio with community representatives from Guguletu, and the studio was known as Guguletu Hope. We did a series of co-design workshops and site visits and focus groups, ending the end of the term one, building a large model and engaging on design opportunities for the local area. In aspects of city design or urban design theory, we look at seminar-based style theory, so we apply theory, and we do some fun creative tools, such as the Kuyasa placemaking seminar. These are students in action in this year, looking at design opportunities for a precinct. So why do we do that? In our theory, urban life has become the new normal. Talking a lot at the moment about the new normal. So this is a picture of Medellin in Colombia, and one can see just how urban the setting is. If we relate this back to our own context, how do we understand a spatially divided city, or how do we redesign a good city? So in Cape Town, it is looking at equality and the spatial justice, and how do we start addressing that? We look at urban design representation. We've taken a series of site visits between Woodstock, Guguletu, Kalicha, and Makassar, where we absorb ourselves and understand the context and then learn different ways of representation in the city. This is some of the students' work that came out of that in 2019, where we look at different ways of how you can understand these very complex situations through drawings, through collage, through mapping, down to understanding the built form and the in-between spaces, as well as actually the natural systems, edges, boundaries, and right down to what are these clustering of civic facilities and the urban form. And that's just a brief overview. If there are any questions, you can contact me on catherine.ewing@uct.ac.za. Thank you very much, and that's all. Goodbye.